This is Shannon Mangin giving you a tour of some of the best neighborhoods in the Austin Hill Country. Today I'm in my own neighborhood of Provence and I'm going to give you a review of one of the main builders, Ashton Woods. So I'm going to start off with an overview of Ashton Woods, 3 things I like about them and 3 things you should also watch out for if you're going to build, especially here in Provence. So Ashton Woods is a builder based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they've been building homes since 1989. They've now expanded and they build in the major cities in Texas, and there's currently about 10 communities in Austin that feature Ashton Woods homes. Now, Ashton Woods also owns Starlight Homes, which is designed for entry-level buyers who might struggle with the higher prices we see in Austin. But if you're buying an Ashton Wood home, those are usually going to be mid-range, good quality homes, but not high-end luxury. Now, I have personal experience with this builder because the first home that I bought in Austin was an Ashton Woods home. My husband and I built it in Sweetwater and we lived there for 9 years. And I can say that during that time, we never had any major issues with it. And when we sold it, we had a really clean inspection report. So I feel like the overall quality of the construction was really great. The styles of the Ashton Woods homes here in Provence remind me a lot of the home that we had in Sweetwater. So the first thing I love about Ashton Woods is the variety of floor plans. In fact, in Provence, they have 26 different floor plans ranging from small 3-bedroom homes with 1,800 square feet up to a huge 5-bedroom home with over 4,000 square feet. So whatever size and style of home you want, you can find it. Now, the second thing I love about Ashton Woods in Provence is that they also have a wide variety of prices. They offer 3 series of homes on 50-foot, 60-foot, or 70-foot lots. So just as an example, this is a 1-story 4-bedroom home around 1,800 square feet, and it's listed right now for about $530,000. But Ashton Woods always offers incentives. So right now you can get your closing costs paid for, a low fixed rate, you can add on appliances and other upgrades, or you might be able to negotiate the price a bit lower. Incentives always vary every month, but right now the savings are awesome. Now at the higher end, here's a 2-story home over 3,000 square feet on a 60-foot lot with no neighbors behind, and it's in the mid-700s. Ashton Woods is also open to investors on a case-by-case scenario. So if I were an investor, I think that 1-story home in the 530s is an incredible deal. The third thing I love about Ashton Woods is that they actually let you build from scratch. So in 2021, when builders faced supply chain issues and other major problems, a lot of builders quit letting buyers pick their home sites and so on. But in Ashton Woods, you can still pick your own lot, your floor plan, and all your structural designs. Now, I'm mostly excited about the 70-foot lots that they have available right now. A lot of these back to green belts or even have canyon views, and they are incredible. Now, if you want your best pick of these lots though, I encourage you to come out here sooner than later because they are selling them off every month. Now, when you build from scratch, you don't get the same discounts and incentives as you do when you buy an existing home, but you can usually get credits towards the design center and closing costs. Now let's talk about things you need to watch out for whenever you're building a new home. One of the things has to do with the fear of the unknown of what's going to be built around you. I recently had a bad experience with a family who went under contract on an Ashton Woods home here in Provence. They picked out a lot that they fell in love with, and on the developer's plans, it looked like that lot backed to green space. But right after we went under contract, the developer changed the plans and they found out that a home was going to be built directly behind them. Thankfully, we found out just a couple of days after they went under contract so they could back out of that purchase since they didn't have all the correct facts. Now, the second thing to watch out for are their builder contracts. All builder contracts are written by attorneys whose sole job is to protect the builder's interest, and the Ashton Woods contracts are no different. So when you put your earnest money down, it's not refundable. So just make certain you are 100% happy with the home you've picked and your design selections before moving forward. And also be very flexible when you're building from scratch, because even though they might say the build time is around 8 months, things could happen and it can always take a little bit longer. So the last thing to be aware of is that the quality of the home and the finish out is going to vary depending on each neighborhood. So this video is about Ashton Woods homes in Provence, which is a gorgeous community near Bee Cave, and the homes here have a higher end finish overall. So for example, these homes have masonry on all 4 sides, but in other communities like Cannon Ranch and Dripping Springs, the homes are going to start in the high 300s. And clearly at that price, you're going to expect a bit less. So those homes are going to be mostly siding all the way around, and they're going to lack some of the wow factor that you'll see in these homes. But they're still a great choice for that price. So don't watch this video and think that all of the Ashton Woods homes look the same. Now finally, let's talk about the neighborhood of Provence. If you are wanting a new construction home in a reasonable price point in Lake Travis ISD, I think that Ashton Woods is probably your best bet right now. Chasmar Homes in Sweetwater is also building some new homes in the $700,000 to $1 million price range, but Ashton Woods will give you a bit more land for your money with larger sized lots and slightly lower prices. The other great thing about Provence is that it will eventually have its own elementary school. The neighborhood is about halfway finished, so there's still a lot of room for growth. And as long as you can handle being around some construction for a while, there's so many great opportunities to build in here. So I want to give you the inside scoop on the clients that I referenced earlier in this video. I recently helped a family go under contract on an Ashton Woods home in Provence, and we had specifically asked for a lot that had no neighbors behind. My clients wanted a green belt or at least some buffer space where they didn't share a fence line. So the agent told us there was only one home that was on a green belt that met all their criteria, and there were 2 others that were not technically on a green belt, but there was a little bit of a buffer space, some green space behind it that the developer was going to leave open according to the developer maps. So we did not like the one that was on the green belt. It wasn't what my clients were looking for in terms of the flow of the home, but the one that backed to the green space, they really fell in love with it. And so this home had already a wrought iron fence in the back, and usually when you see a wrought iron fence, it means, okay, you can see through it, and there were some beautiful trees, some open green space. They could still see another street down the end, so they understood it wasn't like a true green belt where you're, you know, along a canyon or it's like a big forested area. It was just an open kind of triangular shaped space, but they were happy with that. They're like, that's fine, it's enough space to give us the privacy we need. So we go under contract. A few days later, we find out that a developer changed the map and had redone the design. So all of a sudden they get a notice saying that their privacy fence was going to be installed and the wrought iron fence was going to be taken out. The sales agent had to call us all and say, hey, this is what happened. We just got new updated maps. So of course I'm, upset. My clients are beside themselves and they're like, we never would have gone under contract on this home. We wouldn't have even looked at it if we had known it wasn't going to have a neighbor behind. Now, this was not Ashton Woods' fault. They had no, say over what was happening on the maps, and the developer was insistent, like, we can change them when we feel like it. So this was not the builder's fault, but they did work hard to get it resolved. And so they found another home, same floor plan, that was being built nearby. It was just a couple months behind, which is why we didn't look at it. And this is actually a better lot. It does back up to one of the canyons, so they're going to have a protected green belt behind them. And then also it had a bunch of extra upgrades that they were hoping for that the other home didn't have. They were kind of like nice to have features. So they're getting like an extra third car tandem area and just some other things that they were like, okay, wow, this is actually even cooler than the other home that we loved. So the other thing the builder did, and I will give credit to Ashton Woods, is that they worked hard to get the price down as low as possible, because this was a little more expensive home that they ended up transferring the contract to, but they still made sure that they got lender incentives. They waived the lot premium because of the mishap on the other lot. They reduce some of the design upgrades. And so my clients at the end of the day are getting a home that they love even more on a better lot. and their monthly payments are just like right in line with where they need to be. So I'm grateful to this company for trying to come to a resolution and make everyone happy. At the end of the day, we worked it out, I think, for better for everyone. Now, my lesson and warning for people who are building in a new construction area that is still to be developed: you're much safer if you buy a home on a dedicated green belt where you know, okay, there's no way they can build because it, goes down off the side of a hill, or maybe there's an open park area or something that's already established and you can say, okay, I know exactly what's going behind there. So if it's any one of those, like a little skinny green space that the developer's calling it, just know that if it's not finalized and that area hasn't been built out, the developer could change it. This is the first time I've had this happen to me on any sale, but it's just a lesson learned. So stick to the ones that say dedicated green belt, or ones where you actually see what's already finished around it. Now, I'd love to know what you think of this builder. Drop a comment or question below, and make sure you subscribe to our channel for more neighborhood tours and builder reviews.